So I have to ask you, given that this ruling has now come down, what practical effect do you expect it to have?
Well, look, nobody, as you've indicated, quite knows what is going to happen. This is a really serious issue here in Europe. I'm joining you from London Heathrow. The home of British Airways, of course. KLM is the home airline in Amsterdam, just 200 miles away from here. You've also got big hubs, of course, in Frankfurt, in Paris, Charles de Gaulle, and increasingly actually in Istanbul. And for one country's government to say, in order to align our climate change goals with international aviation, we are effectively putting the brakes on the on one of the big European hubs is being taken very seriously, not just, of course, by KLM, which is part of the Air France group, but also by the International Air Transport Association, which is aghast that any country's government should do this at a time when, of course, aviation is trying to recover from the terrible effects of the COVID pandemic, in which airlines lost hundreds of billions of pounds.
So the Dutch government set out very clearly that it wanted to find that balance. Do you think that this will go to other countries, perhaps even principally in Britain where you are, maybe perhaps not by the Tory government, but that there will be pressure that the days of very cheap travel or connections in Europe should come to an end because they do not reflect the cost on the environment?
Well, yes, and I mean, there is a huge, much wider argument to be had about the extent to which air travel is taxed.
Go ahead, Simon. We can hear you.
Yeah, OK. I'm so sorry. Yeah, forgive me. Yes, there is a wide argument about the extent to which taxation should be used in order to be able to deter the amount of travel that people are doing by air, particularly on short distances. And we've seen some action in France also reducing the number of short domestic flights. But the idea, I think, here in the UK that we would see anything that would diminish the role of Heathrow, I think, is unlikely. And of course, there is going to be great celebration in places like Istanbul, where the new airport actually has just set a record for the number of flights operated from an airport in Europe ever. They have beaten now Frankfurt. So there's a battle of the hubs going on. And the sense I'm getting from lots of people in aviation is that, very frankly, the Dutch have kind of decided to hobble their aviation industry without really knowing what else is going on. And bear in mind, of course, that the Dutch are doing pretty well. There's good high-speed rail connections from Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, which actually are doing something towards reducing the number of domestic flights.
Yeah, and as you point out, this is very much a domestic story in the Netherlands, and you know the slack might be picked up from other airports. But do you see this being an overall regulatory issue in Europe writ large?
Well, it is possible. I'm sure that Brussels, home of the European Union, is looking at this. I think what is happening in the Netherlands could be repeated possibly in the Scandinavian countries, maybe in Copenhagen, in Stockholm or Oslo, but they are actually much smaller in terms of being international hubs. No, I think the whole issue now really turns to, OK, this is going to happen. How is it going to happen? And as your introduction made absolutely clear, nobody quite knows what this looks like. Do all the airlines equally share in the pain? Does KLM actually bear a disproportionate burden because it has all the connecting traffic? There's so many unanswered questions. Meanwhile, of course, there's plenty of thriving budget, low-cost airlines in Europe, in particular Ryanair, which has never flown to or from Amsterdam and is perfectly happy joining many, many dots within Europe. And it's just ordered 300 new aircraft in order to help it do that.
Yeah, such a good point that the appetite for that travel throughout Europe remains. It'll be interesting to see what impact it also has on ticket prices. Simon, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.